Tyler Cameron's a pretty good athlete, right?
Right.
You think you're a better athlete than him?
I mean,
But I've been nuts, I getting money, I'm on my thug again. Tryna stack a little dub, tryna catch a win. And next time I drop a coupe, it's gonna be a twin turbo. Always been a G, but I ain't never been a herb though. Way I'm switching lanes.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Millennial Mentality Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Agnelli, here with my co-host, Peter Price.
Yep.
And our guest today, the one and only Dante Cousart.
yes, sir.
Guys, as always, thank you for watching, listening, viewing, and subscribing. If you have not hit that button, what are you doing? Just did it. Just help me out, make my day. Why not? Throw us a like or a comment. Tell your friends and family about us, guys. It means the world, and we just love your continuous support. So thank you for that. To Dante, I'm going to start this episode off with my first memories of Dante. I'm sure at home you're watching and you have your first memory of Dante. But Dante and I were on the Dwyer football team together. He was 2 years younger than me, I believe. So we graduated 2013. He would have graduated 2015. And Dante was an excelled athlete. You were just a kick-ass kid. And as a smaller wide receiver, as a sophomore playing for varsity at Dwyer at the time, that was a big deal. But it wasn't necessarily Dante's athletics that, you wouldn't forget about him. It was his personality. And, bro, you have one of the most genuine personalities I've ever met.
I appreciate it.
And you were wise beyond your years back then, and I'm sure you are now still. But I kind of want to take it back to the Dante I don't necessarily know, and then we're going to move kind of into the past, several years. But, growing up, were you always born and raised around this area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So growing up, what was your dream? Was it football? Was it anything else? Like, who were you as a person?
No doubt. I mean, I didn't know right away, and everything I did was just, I didn't have like a plan at first. I didn't have many goals, and then I just fell in love with football. And I started football probably like 7th grade, met some good dudes. And then once I got to Dwyer, like that's when I knew I was like, oh yeah, I gotta pursue this, you know what I mean? And meeting guys like you, Coach Daniels, all them, like just being around good guys, man, I was like, I love it.
It was funny because there was a handful of sophomores at the time when we were seniors, and most of them like we weren't really chilling with, but Dante was always hanging out with the seniors in our crew, man. It was awesome. And we fucked with him, man. Just a dope guy. Now, to go to the years after we graduated, right? So let's skip junior year and go to kind of your senior year. Your junior year, you did win the state championship.
Yes,
so
sir.
shout out to that team,
Yeah.
Dwyer class of 2014. But to move to your senior year, at what point was it, am I taking football serious? Is this really the next step for me? Am I going to go to somewhere for education? What was that step?
So, like we've had a stacked team forever.
Yeah.
My junior year, I was finally getting like meaningful playing time on varsity behind Johnny Clint, Ezra Schwan, Eddie Giles, all them, who all went Division I. But I was so underdeveloped. I was, my reps weren't really, I was a couple catches here and there, whatever. And then like that summer, I really just took like a big step. I don't know what it was. I think just maybe more confidence-wise, and all of them left. So I had to kind of step up, and like I realized like I am pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and I might have a future with this. And, Coach Daniel sat me down and was like, look, you should take this very serious. Yeah. And then that's when I just like went full on and had a successful senior year, man. But it was, you already know, man.
Were you playing receiver all the way through?
All the way through, yeah. I tried to play safety for a game or two with Coach Manier, but playing both ways is tough.
That might have been the coach, too. Shout out Coach Manier.
You ever keep up with Coach Manier anymore on social media?
Facebook, dude.
He goes on some rants on Facebook.
He's a big jiu-jitsu guy. Shout out Coach Manier. So when you got your first offer, what was that feeling like?
It was great, man.
Yeah.
It was like everything, all that hard work you finally put in, man, is like finally pays off, you know. And I mean, seeing these guys getting, we have 4 or 5-star guys on our teams, like seeing those big time offers, and then finally getting, any offer yourself is like, damn, man, this is what they all, do it for.
It was surreal almost.
Yeah, man,
Now, you ended up going to FAU. Give me that process of how you landed there for football.
Yeah, so I actually went to Assumption College first, up in Boston, small school in Boston. I don't know why. I wanted to get out of Florida, and I had a few smaller like opportunities and all that. I went there first semester. I knew right away. I was like, I got to get out of here. Like one, like potential wise, like it just I had more for me. I envisioned more for me. The school was small. It was like as big as Dwyer.
Yeah.
And knowing people like us, like we've met everybody in the first week, you know what I'm saying? So called up Coach Partridge from FAU, and I was like, I got my release, and I told him, I was like, look, man, like, I'm looking to come back. He's like, I told you you're always welcome, and Par was over there, and it was the best decision I made thus far, man. Yeah.
So you went there on a scholarship or a
Yes.
walk-on?
To where?
FAU.
FAU, I was promised a scholarship once I got there, after like a year after, you know, and Coach Partridge ended up getting fired.
Okay.
And that just opened up a whole, like, experience that I'll never forget, that whole year with Coach Kiffin, those 3 years, man. Like, and I eventually got one, you know, but
Yeah, it's
crazy,
awesome.
man.
Now, to kind of take it back a step, I could be way off in this, Dante, but were you the one that never drank?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, is that still?
That's still, yep.
Nice, man.
Congratulations to
Thank you,
that. You know, it's funny, like you go through an age, probably like 18 to 22, where you might get a lot of like, why the fuck, bro, party with me.
Right.
And then you get into like the mid to late 20s, you're like, dude, I respect the
Good
shit
for
out of
that.
that.
Dude, dude, I was like, I wish I could. I wish I could.
Like all the apologies that he didn't have to do. So what was the source of the reason for that?
So my dad was a bad alcoholic. I usually just tell people that, you know, and don't really go too much into it. My mom growing up was always just like pushing in my head, like, trust me, just don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm like, whatever. But like you said, the 18 to 22 mark is tough because you have so many influences going on and so much partying and all that. But shout out Juan Soler, but like he was there for me in those like times, and he was sober at the time, and he's like, just don't do it, bro. So I always had a buddy there not to do it with me, you know,
nice.
which I got to give credit for because peer pressure is tough, you know.
Yeah.
But now I just don't drink because like I just love being like
In the
moment, man. And like I don't like I love how I'm feeling, you know, and I don't like depending on other things and stimulants to pick me up or help me feel other ways. And I don't do a lot of things. I've never smoked. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink energy drinks, pre-workout, none of that. But like,
Good for
you.
I know, man.
That's
I know,
great.
right? But I don't have anything against any of that stuff as long as you're doing it responsibly, whatever.
Yeah.
But I just don't feel the urge to ever do it, man. Don't get me wrong. I've tasted it. Like I know what it tastes like. Couldn't even enjoy it if I wanted to be honest.
Good for you, bro.
That might
Thank
be
you,
the
bro. I
secret
appreciate
sauce
that.
for you watching at home. You wonder why is Dante always so fucking happy, you know? Maybe it's because he's not getting fucked up every weekend. That is sick. Now, was there any moment or crossroads, whether it be college, after college, before, where you were like, dude, listen, this isn't for me. I'm definitely going to start drinking.
Never.
Really?
Not even
No
close.
way.
Not even close.
And I love it because it really shows how much you love yourself, that you don't have to get in a different trance or type of mental space to feel at home.
Right.
You know, I know a lot of people who use drugs and alcohol as outlets to feel comfortable in themselves. Like
Right.
for me, it was body image and being overweight. Like being drunk, I didn't give a shit what I looked like, right? So for a lot of people, whether it be social anxiety or insecurities, they let weed or alcohol or any other type of drugs kind of suffice that, and that's their reasoning for it. And so now that you've never had that kickstand to fall on, you really just have to be content with who you are.
No doubt.
When you got to FAU, I mean, I've always known you. This is what kind of confused me. You were never the one to drink, but you'd always be at the parties, which I
Right.
love, you
Yeah.
know? And you were always in the setting where, like, a lot of people who try not to drink, they don't even go out, you
Right,
know?
right.
What was it like partying and in that experience as a college football player, D1 college football
Right,
player,
right.
going to parties sober?
I'm gonna tell you one thing that I tell everybody, like when they ask, it's like you gotta. It's all about who you're around. You know what I mean? Like I have nights where I'm like, oh, this is miserable, I'm leaving. You know what I mean? But like if you have your good friends around you or like just genuine people in general, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
And I personally now just like feed off the energy, feed off the vibe. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like I try to put myself in a position where I'm surrounded by genuinely, you know, good people or people trying to have a good time, you know? So
What do you say to the people that you realize aren't going to be good for your time? You cut them off? Do you just ghost them?
I don't really say much. I kind of just like distance myself, you know? And at this point, I kind of know who those people are or not, and I'm very careful with letting in more people.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends, but those friends are very, you know, I trust them and all that, so.
I get it, and we're getting now to an age in you as well that, like, you know, you start going down your lane and you start really identifying with who you are and whatnot. And you know, you'll have lifelong friends where it's not good, bad, or indifferent. You're just kind of slowly drifting your own separate ways, you know. And a question I always ask myself is, in those situations, do you confront it and be like, hey, man, you know, I know that we're going our separate ways. I love you. Or do you kind of just like let it be and be as it is?
Right.
So I'm kind of at that position with with a few people, and it's tough because I don't know how to distance myself really.
For sure.
With football, right? What was that experience like? You show up there. Obviously, the program is way different than up north. What was it like? You know, were you scared? Were you intimidated? What was that experience?
I was ready, man. Like, we playing at Dwyer with all those guys and just the caliber we were playing against, you know, like, I was prepared. And I just wanted the absolute most out of my opportunity. And I was so pumped, man. And it was like, I knew that within the first week, I was like, this is the best move I could have made, you know.
Yeah.
And we just got out there, started competing, man. And I made some plays early on, which I think helped with the confidence. And I feel like life's all about confidence, you know. So, and just I had a relationship with a lot of the guys on the team. You know, Jared Ward was still there, and Parr and Gerald Hearns and all them. So, like I said, those are great guys.
Great guys.
You can't go wrong with that. So it was just such a great time, man. I can't.
Dante, I literally, as you're talking, I just thought of a moment. I believe it was in college. Obviously, it was because I went to college around the same time you did. And we were watching a game, and you were a punt returner.
Yeah.
Kick goes up, you go to field it, and it's a fumble.
Right.
Okay. What was that moment like, and how did you face that moment in the next few minutes after realizing what just happened?
So that was the Ohio State game because that was the only time I muffed a punt. But thankfully, I recovered it. I'll say that. But no, that was the first punt that I was fielding since coming back from my injury. I broke my leg in half from punt returning the year before.
Okay.
Fuck.
So Ohio State was my first game back.
I feel like they could have eased you in a little bit there.
Damn, dude.
They're like, get out there. So 100,000, that stadium's insane. But I was just trying to do too much there. I was ball was clearly over my head at the 10-yard line. Should have let it in the end zone. But just everything going on, and I try to catch it in some way I've never tried to catch a punt before, and I muffed it. Thankfully got it. Saw I was at the 4-yard line. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to get ripped. But thankfully, you know, the coaches are phenomenal, and they trust you. If you're out there for Coach Kiff, he trusts you fully.
Yeah.
So, you know, thankfully the next punt I fielded it fine and everything. But it's tough because, like, it's all mental battle, man.
100%. Dude, you have a ball 100 foot in the air
Yeah, bro.
with 11 250-pound guys
Coming full
sprinting at
speed.
you.
Right.
No, I asked literally a friend on Sunday, we were watching the NFL for the first week, and I said, do you think the average Joe, right? I mean, I think I got a little better hands than the average Joe, but the average Joe, if you put him in that position, right, you think he's catching 1 out of 10 balls?
With the environment and the
everything going on. No way, dude.
No.
Yeah,
like,
man.
that is so hard.
Yeah.
And to think that you had like 100,000 and then quantifiably more with TV eyes on you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even get in the moment. You just have to be robotic at
You
that
just
point.
gotta- yeah.
Are you zoning it out at that point? Like the crowd's not even there? I mean,
To be
is it
honest, like
fueling you.
Right, you don't even really. The crowd's not really too much of a factor. You know, now I'm sure in those huge, like the Texas-Alabama game that just happened, like I'm sure the crowd's a really big factor there. But Ohio State opened up pretty fast on us.
Yeah.
They had, you know, Chase Young,
Yeah.
Justin Fields, all them. But we played Oklahoma the year before. Same scenario. You know,
You
fielded
played
all my
against
punts. Kyler Murray.
You played against him?
CeeDee Lamb,
Wow.
Hollywood Brown. Yeah, man, they were stacked, bro. So
Did you dub him up after the game? What was that like?
I talked to Hollywood a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, good dude. Great
Yeah.
dude, man. And then the year after we played Ohio State, I talked to Ben Victor about Johnny and them boys. So it was I'm sad we missed Johnny, but
Dude, he's an amazing person too.
Yeah.
Now, that was your junior year where you got hurt or
Right.
okay.
Right.
How'd you break your leg in half?
return to punt versus Marshall. Finally, it was my first start at slot receiver as well. You know, fielded the ball, rolled my ankle pregame, taped it up a lot, and the gunner came down. I ran about 7 yards. He tackled me. My foot got stuck in the turf. I thought I rolled my ankle, man. I looked down. It was
that
facing,
bitch backwards?
It was
No.
backward. Yeah.
Do you remember the spring game going into my senior year? So it would have been going into your sophomore year?
Right.
Yeah, there was a big pile up for the spring game. This dude, everyone gets off and picks his leg up, and it's backwards.
Yes,
right?
yes.
That was you?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
It was like my tibia and fibula is straight down the middle, you know, and I looked down. I was like, oh hell no, my shit was backwards.
I don't mean to laugh,
no,
but yeah.
dude, of course it's funny. Like I didn't even feel it. Like I was like, my leg's backwards, and I went straight to surgery. They put a rod, and I still have it. Screws, rod, my whole leg, and
How long was that recovery?
Well, I was up there. I stayed there for like 3 days. Team left me. I was, I don't blame them, but I couldn't walk for maybe.
Flaw.
Yeah.
You can't hold a bus for a little bit.
Couldn't walk for about 4 months without crutches.
Damn, dude.
And then finally took 2 or 3 more months like just really strengthening the leg. And then like month 8 I was kind of like running but limping a lot. And just right when camp started, I was ready. I did.
Was there a little
everything I could.
PTSD running routes or catching punts?
To be honest, no. No. But like, there was like, I would have my off days, like anyone would.
Yeah.
My leg was not attached to my body, and and the staff was like, maybe you should go talk to the team psychologist. I'm like, dude, come on, like, cut me a break, like
Kodak Black, my team psychologist.
Yeah. So
how did you get over it mentally? You just kind of kept fighting it personally?
I just kept pushing through and just competing, and I had a great support system with me. So
yeah. Just out of curiosity, how does that work when you get like injured on a big program like that?
Yeah.
Do they cover, like, how does that work?
Yeah, so they'll cover all your expenses.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they pay for the surgery and travel,
Physical
everything.
therapy and all
Yeah.
that?
Oh
Wow.
well, we have it. Thankfully, like 5-6 days
Yeah.
a week. In the facility. We have a beautiful new facility now. So, PT's included in all that and everything. So
That's huge.
I'm not even going to get to where we are now in life because you're doing amazing. But at that
Thank you.
point, right, and you're doing great stuff, and everyone, I'm sure you get comments, Dante, because you're a fucking sick guy, right? How do you stay humble, and how do you stay in the moment? What things did you use to help support that?
just honestly, my mom just always like beating in my head, like, you got to be humble, and seeing the guys around us that we've grown up with, like, succeed in so many different ways, and they remain humble, and like, those are the guys you want to see succeed. The arrogant guy that's always, this and that, like I don't know, like, those guys I really want to see succeed, and I was like, I'm gonna be just like them, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
if they can, why can't I? Like, that's
Right,
what always gets me going. Okay, so when you are finishing up at FAU, right? You finish your senior year of football. Were you were redshirt, so that was your 5th year?
Right, yeah.
Okay. What was it like? I mean, did you have to swallow the pill of like, am I attacking the NFL? Am I not? What am I doing? What was that experience?
Right. So my last year was the COVID year coming up, so like they canceled pro day, all that. I took a step back and kind of really, I'm very realistic, and I'm 160 pounds, 5'10". I have my, my measurables are whatever for the most part, but
What measurables?
like 40 time and things
okay.
like that. Yeah.
My mom wouldn't do it.
And I had some like CFL opportunities and stuff like that, but I didn't really love it enough to do that, you know.
Your heart wasn't telling you to
It
go with
wasn't really in it, you know. And I miss it every day, though. Don't get me wrong. I miss the guys. I miss the experience and everything you do. But I just wanted to open a business, and my mom and stepdad did with me. So
now, when you're taking that step, right? You're finishing college. You're going to your new life. What is your identity like? Are you like, am I Dante the football player? Am I
Right.
Dante the person? Like, how is that?
that's the absolute toughest part with all of it, you know. And I think that's something that isn't talked about enough for college athletes and mental health, and women and guys, both of them. Like, when you're a college athlete, especially at the Division I level, especially football too, the most watched sport, whatever, like, you literally lose your identity, and you have to find you just got to find something, and it's tough, and it took me a while and to accept that I'm just like, I'm Dante now, like, you know what I mean? Like,
And I talked to Sean Boone about it when he was on, and from my perspective too, even in high school it was like this, but even the 4 years or 5 years after, when you're a collegiate athlete, you have someone telling you what you're doing every single day, right?
doubt.
You're eating this time, you're traveling this time, you're studying this time, and then you get done, and I can only imagine it's like, oh shit, I don't have someone telling me to wake up at 5 a.m. for PT.
Right.
And so I can only imagine like what that freedom feels like. It's a little scary. It's a little like, I don't know what's going on. So you got your degree. What'd you get your degree in?
clinical psych, but in the school of social work. So
Okay.
got my master's. Yep.
Do you?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
what was your next step after that?
My mom and I had a plan, and my stepdad, Gino, they wanted to open up a business for me, and we settled on a nursing home, and we opened it August 5th of last year, and it's been great since, man. But I wanted something to do in the field of like helping people, but also, business is where the money's at, know, so trying to find a way to, bridge that gap and do something that I can do both of those in, and thankfully this worked out.
I picture you doing a lot of things, Dante. I don't picture you owning a nursing home.
No doubt.
Which is kind of dope.
Right.
I would have a shirt that says I own a nursing home.
Right.
But with doing that, right, has it reaped the benefits? What has it? It's been almost a year now, or over a year.
Yep.
What has it been different than your envision?
So in the beginning, it was a lot tougher than you'd think it'd be, starting a business from literal scratch, and a lot of ups and downs and a lot of like doubt at times, but just continuing to like persevere and like push through. And like now I have the freedom to do what I want when I want. My mom supports me, she's a great business partner.
Mm-hmm. How is that working with family? Because I do.
At first it was tough. Yeah. Like we're always, back and forth, but at the end of the day, like it's very convenient at times too.
You ever bump heads really bad?
A little bit, yeah. In the beginning, but now that we're smooth sailing, it's all good. So
my dad's a very loud in your face guy, and I'm a very not loud in your face guy in some respects. But I would just have to learn to fucking bite my tongue. Even knowing that either I was right or I believed I was right, because it's not going anywhere. It's just going to escalate the situation. Yeah. So that's awesome. Now to your personal life, right?
Right.
You get done. Are you dating at this time? Are you single? What was that like?
I'm single. I've been single for a while, yeah.
What's a while?
5-6 years.
Are you on Tinder?
No, I'm not.
All right.
Yeah.
How are you matchmaking? I'm sure a few ladies are watching now. Are you open to it? I mean, what's that like?
Yeah, just organic, going out, meeting them, and just interacting, and friends of friends and all that.
You DMing?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You got to.
Give me the longest shot you've DM'd. Olivia Dunn?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She respond?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you gotta, I tell my friends, it's like, you gotta put that stuff in like categories kind of, like I have whatever amount of followers, and like, I can't be DMing like someone with like 20 mil. They're not gonna, the amount of DMs they get is crazy. So you kind of gotta be more realistic. Livy was definitely one of that I was like,
oh, on a first name basis type thing, right? You got her phone number?
Nah.
Nah. Okay. Now, with being, young and tied up in the scene on social media like you are, how do you separate the real world from this online presence and stuff like that?
Right. It's tough for sure, man. Like society nowadays is so like revolves around that, and it's like your digital like resume in a way, I struggle with it sometimes, and you got to be realistic, and that's when you really got to fall back and be like, all right, who am I? Like, you can go so far with this in certain ways, but you got to remember like your values, your morals, things like that,
How'd you hook up with Tyler Cameron?
I've known Tyler, before, like while he was at Jupiter, played with Austin at Dwyer, his middle brother, and
that's right.
Yeah, he was the DM with us. Really talented. But then I went over to FAU. Tyler went as well, and then we like kind of rekindled, and he just played that big brother role for me, and then his youngest brother Ryan went to FAU as well, and he played tight end, super good dude, talented and all that. And once I graduated, I came back to Jupiter. Tyler's back in Jupiter, and we just kind of reconnected, man. And like that whole thing he's got going on, he's another person, like, just remains humble, man. Like, he gets a lot of hate here and there, and everyone in the scene does, you know what I mean? But he's got some good people around him. They just want a genuine good time, and I honestly enjoy hanging out with them because we actually have fun. Like, it's not for whatever reason. You don't feel like, oh, he's taking care of me, things like that. He's like, this is just genuinely a good time, man.
Because you know him as Tyler, not Tyler Cameron.
Right.
Yeah. Now, when you're in this presence with these guys, right, do you feel out of place or do you just feel at home? Like, because from a third party, you look at these, entities, and you're like, oh my God, what is this? But then you see someone as like, I love you and I know you. And so like you see them with them and you're like, holy shit, Dante, so how is that like?
So it's, I met a lot of like big time people like down in Miami and doing things like that. So I was kind of used to it, and you kind of just like you said, like feel at home almost. But you meet these people, and a lot of them are normal, good people, man. Like I met Bryce Hall like last month or something, and
How
like
was he?
he gets so much hate, man. He gets so much hate, and I'll say like just a normal dude, bro, and like he was a genuine guy having a good time, man. Like not being cringy like you think he would be. I've known the Griffin Johnson kid for, since last year, like linked up with him a few times, man, and like just normal guys, bro.
Yeah.
And I know it's like cliche to say like there's normal people, but like actually are, and they just have a following. That's all,
You also gotta understand, like, normal doesn't blow you up on social media,
Right,
And,
right.
and you have to be polarizing to some extent. You have to be cringy, and you have to get clicks and likes. And if that is your business and what you're pursuing, I get why these kids have to do it. I mean, it's their job, it's their work. The hate that comes along with that, I think, is bullshit. Like, I will never understand like rude comments and this and that. Like, if you got the time to type out a shitty comment, you're just a blob in the world. So a question I had for you was, Tyler Cameron's a pretty good athlete, right? You think you're a better athlete than him?
I mean,
What's your 40 time?
My 40 time is like a 4.5, high 4.5s.
Measurables.
What do you think Tyler Cameron's 40 time is?
4.6.
Ah!
Nah, Tyler's a good athlete though. I've
Yeah.
seen, he could spin it.
Yeah.
He could spin it. We played, different positions. Obviously, he played tight. He was, to be honest, when he was playing tight end, man, he was solid.
Yeah.
He was solid. He had to try out with the Ravens and all that. So
You ever find people are trying to use you to get to other people?
no doubt,
Yeah.
for even me. So I can only imagine
Yeah,
what goes on with other
yeah.
people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just like. People DM me to get to Tyler, or people see me at FAU and like, oh, you're friends with Ryan or Tyler, it's crazy. And then now it's even more people, because they see me with more people, but it comes with it. So
When it comes to girls, right, how do you know someone's not just chasing you for clout?
to be honest, I'm very thankfully to my degree, my clinical psych degree. Like I am kind of able to kind of see through that stuff and just, feel it out,
It's hard, man. And I've been not dating for almost 3.5 years, but it was so hard to and you could feel genuineness, right?
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
feel that. But some people in South Florida are really fucking good at faking it,
Oh, yeah. Down
And then
here
you just
especially.
hear stories and you're like, wait, how the fuck did that happen? And so it's hard to weed through the bullshit sometimes. And I respect when people say like, yo, dating's really fucking hard, because I bet it is, and not to like make people scared, but the older you get, more people get married and shit, so there's less people out there. Do you feel the pressure, like in a relationship sense, to get it done soon, or like
my family's always asking like, when are you gonna bring a girl home and all that, and like I'm not rushed, man. Like nowadays, like especially like these, like I don't even know how to say, like there's so many guys, like these girls are getting with like 30, 40-year-old guys, and it's like you're also losing those girls out to them, and they're established, they got yachts, they got cars and all that. So I don't feel the pressure though. I'm just kind of, feeling the vibe. Yeah, because I would rather wait and find the right one, as everyone would, and really be about her and be ready myself to settle down, and because that's all I want in life. My main goal in life is to like have a family, because I didn't have the best childhood with my dad and everything like that. Thankfully I had my mom to support me, but that's the number one thing for me, so I don't want to like mess it up,
Dante, you're an impressive kid. I think a great word to describe you is just grounded. Like you are just very grounded. You know who you are, and nothing's going to sway that. I mean, no type of peer pressure, obviously, or any type of outside influence will break you from that. Pete, you wrote down a few things. What you got?
Yeah, I want to go back to the nursing home. What made you guys pick a nursing home as the business to start?
So we had a close friend. My family had a close friend, and he was doing it, and he was super successful. He has like 4 or 5 of them in the Jupiter area, and the amount of money that you can make with, the world's all about money at the end of the day. You got to do what you love too, but my mom really wanted to find something that we can make some good money in, but in honor of our grandmother who was in a nursing home, who was declining with Alzheimer's and everything. So we just settled on that. And it's so random. Everyone's like, you in a nursing home? Like they see me doing this and that, and it's like, wow, but...
I feel like if I were... I'm sorry.
So, like, what's your involvement in the nursing home? Like, are you literally there, like, dropping trays off at the door, or are you more behind the scenes?
So, in the beginning, I was doing it all, man.
You're drinking a coffee in the morning with them and shooting the shit.
I was doing the dirty work, cleaning them up. It was very humbling, man. And
You wiped asses?
I have.
Bet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was doing all that in the beginning, putting in the hours, putting in the time. really learning the business. And then we finally, hired a great staff, and I was able to kind of like step back and play a more administrative role, do the paperwork, the medications, things like that, which thank goodness happened because, so. Yeah.
And that was all a learning experience for you, right? Because,
for sure.
Because you've never done that before.
And it's tough because, like you said, you're going from a Division I college athlete, playing in front of 100,000 people to
wiping grandma's ass. Yeah. And you can't have an ego there. You've probably seen some shit, boy.
Man,
literally.
Now, what's the okay, nice. What's the scalability of the business now? What are you guys at?
So we have a private 6-bed facility now. We have a second one being built, and then we have plans for one in Northlake, and then we have, future plans for others. My stepdad owns a building and development company, so he's blessed us with gifting us this first 2 houses, helping us through the process. He built them for us like exactly how we wanted them scaled, So without him, none of this would be possible. He's the main investor. He's put in thousands and thousands of dollars, so without him, none of it would be possible.
Do you reach out to like the insurance companies, or how does that work?
So we take Medicaid. Yeah. Medicaid will pay for, it's an assisted living home. Yeah. So nursing home is like, when they're really, really declined, they'll take any type of insurance in a way. So the only one we can really take is Medicaid, and we finally got approved, thankfully, because that covers for like half, and the other half is like paid through the family.
They say that the most amount of STDs is transferred through nursing homes.
Is that right?
Statistic? That's correct. Pull it up, Peter. I think I'm almost positive on that one. I pull some crazy shit out of my ass.
No,
sometimes.
It's true.
Yeah. So to that point, Dante, you've seen some shit there? You've been hit on?
I've seen some. I've been hit on. I've seen some stuff as well.
You been offered?
No, but there's been like we had all women for a while, and then we got a few guys in, and this guy has a wife, and he's
about it.
He's about it. He thinks this other lady's, and we shut it down though, because you don't want your family member.
You can't cock block him though. My man's doing his thing. He's got a sneaky link at the home,
and then
he's in his room pissed off, like so much for assistant.
That's
Where's
great.
my assist, Dante?
Right.
What is all right? So we're both in relationships, but if we were single, right? What is the oldest you would go? 60?
I mean, it really just depends, There's very different looking 60-year-olds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think my number, off the top of my head, probably 55, 60 range.
Yeah, you never know.
At that point, they're through menopause, though. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty old. No, shout out to 55 and 60-year-olds. My mom, I love you. But
that was a weird angle to take.
Oh, well, fuck you, Peter. I didn't mean like that. Get your head out of the gutter. What about you, Dante? What's the oldest you'd go?
Like you said, dude, honestly, 35.
He's pulling it back. He's about to agree with me. He's pulling that shit back real quick.
35,
really
I don't know.
Have you ever been with a woman over her 30s?
No.
In her 30s?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you stick to the 20s?
Yeah.
Are you at the age now, you're 25?
Yep. Are
you trying to date older or trying to date younger? What are you trying to do?
I'm definitely always going for younger.
Yeah.
If it's a year or a couple, I've been with a few that are older than me, and it just never was my vibe. They just, I don't know. They're I don't know.
I feel like some girls like younger dudes because they feel like they could mommy them and control them.
I don't like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think younger dudes who want older girls want that maturity. So a lot of times they clash because it's two different vibes. What was the second thing you had?
Do you find that there's characteristics that you developed in playing football as long as you did that you take into business, discipline or anything like that?
100%, man. And that's football is the biggest blessing in my life. It all started at Dwyer, man. The absolute we had the best coaching staff, and all the things they instilled in us. I carried that on to college, and then even it just really became more into the light of work hard, discipline, and it'll all pay off. And it's so cliche, hard work pays off, but it really does, and you got to trust the process. And coming in FAU, I didn't know what to expect in my career, but every day I just went out there and could say I gave it my all. I tried to make plays, whatever, and really just busted my ass, and it all paid off, and that, thankfully, doing that, it made me realize if I just bring this into the business world, it'll all pay off as well, You you're gonna go up through your ups and downs, and not even business, just life. You go ups and downs and everything, and you just gotta keep pushing, man, and it'll all pay off.
In the different sectors of life, there's a lot of parallels there, you know, and if you're able to transfer one to the next, you know, you could feel that type of effort will push through. A few hard questions for you. First being, who's your favorite coach you ever coached you?
That's tough. I mean, Coach Daniels, I got to mention him, you know. It's honestly, it's not as tough as I thought. It's either Coach Daniels or Coach Kiffin, man. Like, they just had such an impact on me in so many ways. And I think Coach D deserves all the credit because those high school days are when you're really, like, vulnerable and you don't have your identity. And that's when you really got to just try to become somebody, you know. And then college,
what's Kiffin's vibe?
Man, Kiffin is a different breed, man.
Really? If you were to compare him like one coach of Dwyer, who would you compare to? Like a jokester, like funny, screaming at you, like what's the vibe?
Dude, he's
all over the place.
Dude, he takes more of a CEO approach. Yeah. Okay, he's personable with a select few players that he has trust in outside of football, you know. But he's all business. But I don't want to say too much, you know what I mean? But like as an offensive mind and just like coaching mind, like no one comes close. Really? No one comes close to this guy, man.
Where's he now?
He's at Ole Miss, head coach at Ole Miss.
I did not know that. Good for
him.
Man.
Yeah.
You just went out there, yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. How was it?
It was great. Always a great time. I went last year for the first time. He's going into his third year. Went out there last year with Tyler and Matt James for the A&M game for College Game Day.
Crazy, man.
Dog.
Crazy. And that's what I'm saying. Like, good for you for going sober through all this shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's like blackout, you know? Yeah. Matt James, how did you like him?
Great guy, man.
Yeah,
just,
super chill.
Dude, funny, just down to earth, man. Like,
was he the one that was involved with like, or his season was like the racial stuff?
Yeah.
Did you know him around all that stuff?
Yeah, or? I knew him before that.
Yeah,
I knew him before that, and I'll say like, I think that's such like a sensitive topic for everybody, but he's overall, man, he's a great guy, and none of that stuff came off to me. I feel like some of that stuff was scripted, you know, with ABC and everything like that.
You don't say.
Yeah, exactly. You don't say. So I can't speak enough good about him, and he's played a big brother role with me as well. You know, he helped train me a little bit here and there. So,
you know, Bachelor, if you're watching this, someone out there, I'm not going to say bad things about you, but your show over the last 18 years that I've watched every year has declined because of the fucking script you guys write, dude.
Right.
These people are delivered in such a way where they're like, from the jump. I'd be pissed if I got picked for it and they're like, first day you're the villain. I'm like, fuck, dude, man, you know? Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's scripted like that?
They'll never say, but like everyone that is on The Bachelor is in like an NDA. Like, they can't talk about it, you know? So it's kind of like an unknown thing, but that, I don't know, dude. They know how to get people locked in.
For
and
sure.
There's some drama,
and they pick the villain. They have to have drama.
Yeah.
I have a buddy on that was just on this season, Johnny D. He's from like Palm Beach area, so he killed it. He went like made the final 3 hometowns and all that, but the whole season, like you said, is just decline, man. Like, he did everything right. Like, he killed it. He's a stud and everything, but the guys that were around him and like. And it's.
I wish I could meet these bros, because you know if a guy's a bro really quick.
Right,
you
for
know?
sure.
I just want to meet a few of these guys and be like, nah, that's not my vibe.
No, Johnny D's a super bro.
Super bro, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's sick, man. Now, have you ever thought about doing the show? I'm sure you've been approached about it.
Oh, everyone's been, you know, you gotta do it. And I've had a few, like, you know, people reach out, you know, to, you know, submit it. Yeah, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I might.
Yet?
Yeah, I don't know. I would, you know, I'll send an application in maybe, but I don't know. I feel like Love Island's the new, you know.
Oh, so you'd be watching all the shows.
Well, you remember Josh Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just living with him, and like he put me on to Love Island UK.
Okay.
Dude, hilarious.
Locked
bro.
in?
Yeah. Dude, it was
we're
hilarious.
not watching it because it's hilarious. Are you invested in the relationships?
I mean, at the end, yeah. Come on, man. Come on. You become invested, man. And it's just like it's so good, bro.
Like
Did you say you've watched every season for the last 18 years?
Damn.
We'll rewind the clip.
Right.
But your show over the last 18 years that I've watched every year. Okay, my mom was an avid watcher. Okay, sometimes it depends on the season. Some seasons suck as of late. It's been a lot. Not Matt James, not Tyler Cameron's
Right.
season. But
I think Tyler's was peak season.
yeah, he was Hannah Brown, right?
Yeah,
And
that was
the
cute.
little goblin was on there?
Yeah, the goblin guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It's not like I know everything. I imagine like a day in the life of Dante. It's like 7 p.m. tea, and he's just watching Love Island with Granny. You know, dude, that is sick, man. I've loved to see now talking about it, how your life has kind of unfolded, bro. And it's such a testament to just be a good person, and good things will come back to you. To someone out there who hasn't connected with you in the last 10 years, but would kind of say like words of advice or just kind of a sentiment, what would you say?
You got to have good people around you.
Yeah.
You got to find a good support system, some good friends, because at the end of the day, I feel like that's who you are. Like, who you're surrounded by is like what you're going to become. And I know we've heard that growing up.
It's true though.
It's facts, bro. Because it's your environment, bro. It's your atmosphere, and that's gonna get picked up over time. Energy's gonna get picked up. Yeah. Who's your favorite teammate you ever played with?
Oh man, that's impossible.
Come on.
That's impossible. I mean, Tim Bonner was always a character.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
No.
He was on Last Chance U. He was like the main guy for the first Last Chance U. Big D lineman.
Oh, okay.
Hilarious.
Really?
Hilarious, bro.
That's awesome, man. And like to your future, right? Where do you see the next 5 years bringing you?
So I'm really figuring that out, but we just opened up another little business on the side. Long story short, like an Airbnb style deal for like travel nurses and travel physicians and things like that. So I'm just going to continue to just keep grinding at those things, man. And within the 5 years, though, definitely find, a lady to settle down with and just keep planning. But I look to be in South Florida, though. Yeah. I don't think I can ever move out of here, man. Just on top of just how beautiful and everything it is, but just all my people are here, man, and that's what it's all about.
Dude, that's awesome. What would you be listening to? You're walking out to the Ohio State game. You got your earbuds in.
Yeah.
What's the one song you hit every time before you walk out?
Anything by NBA Youngboy.
That's your guy?
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah? You ever met him?
I met him, yeah. I met him. I met Lil Baby, yeah, man. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Who is your most famous contact in your cell phone?
I would say...
Kim K?
No. I met Chloe K, though.
Shut
I met
the fuck
yeah,
up.
man. Yeah.
Okay.
I met a lot of them.
Whoa. You met a lot of... Dante, break that down.
Yeah, man.
Where'd you meet the K's?
Over on Star Island in Miami, man.
Where the fuck is Star? You know where Star Island is? Never heard of this island.
That's like where the little piece of land in Miami that like Diddy has his house on and all that. That was a whole nother chapter of my life. Like right after I graduated, like
Diddy? That was a chapter?
No,
Diddy?
not him. It's like essentially, but like that kind of scene,
Yeah.
And I was down there. I met some guys, and that was.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it because you're on these yachts, you're meeting these people. Michael Bay's telling me to, take some classes with him to be,
Michael Bay?
Michael Bay.
The Transformers?
Yes, man. I'm telling you. Like, I've had a meeting with him a few times about, like,
life?
if I want to, life, and, like, if I want to pursue, like, an acting career, man. It's crazy, I know. And that's just one of them. Like, dapping up Lil Baby at a party, like, being with Dave Portnoy, like, right here, things like that. And it opens up to, like, wow, it's like, this is the world. But I'll go back to what I said, like, it's about who you're around. Like, I'll be on these yachts, and if you don't have your close friends with you, it's never really that good of a time,
So do you make sure that you're always surrounding yourself with this environment? I mean, when you're going to these different places, the Star Islands and stuff, do you have a +1 com? I mean, how do you always maintain that?
So, long story short, I met these two guys. They own a big-time real estate company down there. And they kind of took me under their wing. They're in their like mid-30s and stuff. They're well established. I would just really go with them. And in the beginning, I wasn't at the point where I could bring a +1, even though everyone's like, bro, bring me. I'm like, I'm trying to like put myself on so I can put everyone else on. You know what I mean? But then it got to the point where I'd bring a +1 or whatever. But I would just go down with a bunch of girls. And like, that's kind of how I like paid my way into it, which sounds crazy. But like, I would bring my like close girlfriends and good looking girls, and like we just go down there and get anything I wanted just because I'd bring them.
Girls.
It's crazy, man. It's kind of sad it's like that, but like
That's the world.
Yeah,
When you say girlfriends in that case, it just hit something in my head. Do you believe that a girl and a guy can be best friends?
100%. 100%.
With not one of the parties being a little bit more interested.
I think so. I got a few of those that I promise on everything I love.
On their end, you're promising me?
I promise, yeah.
Do you believe that, Peter?
Yeah, I think.
It's tough.
It's rare, but it's possible.
Yeah.
It's very hard. And I think over the course of the friendship, too, I mean, if both people are single and stuff, because ultimately the first step of a relationship is being friends with the person.
For sure. The biggest thing I'll say to that, too, is like, you know, everyone will be like, oh, you have all these, like, girlfriends. Like, are you getting with them all? Like, sometimes you gotta know when to make them your friend and keep them your friend and when to pursue them. Like, if you have a friend that can open you up to a whole nother world, like, why ruin that relationship possibly trying to hook up with them, you know? I don't know. It's something else I'd think about, you know?
How'd you stay out of the transactional relationship type of lifestyle being down in Miami where everything is a transaction? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
And, dude, it's tough. But they just loved my vibe. And, like, I would just bring a good time. And I was very respectful and, you know, thankful, which, of course, I am, you know? They give me whatever I, you know, wanted and everything like that. It's just how you treat them back, I think, overshadows, like,
any other prejudices,
Yeah.
you know? And the amount of entitled people probably down in Miami sucks, you know?
tough, man. It's so toxic.
Toxic's a great word for
Yeah.
it. Dude, that is awesome. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is you're part of a social media influencer company, right? What is that?
So that's my company, Envious. I've changed the name here and there, but it's just kind of like, you know, I made all these connections throughout the year of, like, you know, big-time players in the NFL and, like, big-time influencers and everything. So I was like, why not, like, do something where I can just, like, connect everybody? And it's nothing I take too serious. It's just kind of something I do on the side. Some people will pay me to connect to so-and-so or, you know, talk to so-and-so and whatever. And, you know, it's been a cool little thing to do on the side, you know?
Just meet more people in network.
Yeah, just networking, man. That's all life's all about.
That's awesome, bro. What is your opinion on OnlyFans?
Man, there's a lot of money being made.
Yeah.
And I think that because these girls are making so much money on it, they don't have a need for guys as much anymore, you know? And obviously not every girl's on it, but I know some girls making $100K a month.
That's insane.
And close friends of mine making 30, 40, 50K a month. Like,
it's crazy.
Like, there's so many ways to make money out there. And, like, you're a guy, let's say you're a guy, like, working at a desk job and you see this girl just doing that, making your salary in 1 month. It's disheartening.
Yeah.
And try not to buttercoat it, right? But what is your first initial reaction of these people when they tell you, Dante, I'm doing OnlyFans? It doesn't affect it at all.
I've been with a few, so
Yeah.
So
you're okay? Would you be okay? I'm not gonna say he owns his girlfriends, right? I'm not saying that. You're chill with your girl doing OnlyFans.
Now that is definitely something I would have to. If it's like my girlfriend, you know, that would probably be something I got to think about. Yeah. But depending on what's on there, I think I'd be okay with it. You know? You know.
What do you think the long-term effects of this kind of streak, this hot streak, is going to be? You know, like, do you think it's going to affect these people mentally and shit like that?
Yeah, I think the mental thing is the biggest part. Like, they kind of lose a sense of the value of the dollar in a way. I know that's kind of like
makes sense.
You know, like once they get to, like, where their body starts, you know, going down a little bit and they can't make as much money on it, like,
to either start fucking or
you know. But who knows how long this will go on for?
Yeah. Do you think it's around to stay, or you think it's a short phase?
I think it's gonna stay for a minute, you know.
Yeah,
and you got to follow the money. You can't blame any of these girls for doing it, man.
I don't. I told Pete. I said if I don't know if I'm reneging on that, but my initial reaction is if I'm a single person and could make money off of showing half my asshole, then fuck it. Why not? You know. Because that's probably the farthest I would ever go. Just half the asshole.
Just half the asshole.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of guys and people getting involved in the business on the management side of it. Like almost all of these girls, they don't do the interactions. They just provide the photos and stuff like that.
So these guys are the ones messaging back? No way.
Dude, listen, all of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
This is dude on the other side of that
so
phone
many guys
off to that message.
And they're taking 20%, and I gotta give them credit, man. Follow the money.
Yeah.
Dude, and the only thing I'll say is in my prediction, right? when I see what's slowing down would be the residual mental effects, if it does,
Right.
from this boom, right? 5-10 years down the road, you can't get a job. I'm saying in my field, we don't give a fuck, but if someone Googles your name and the first thing that pops up is OnlyFans or ex-OnlyFans pictures, the thing about the internet is once you put it on, it will never come off.
No.
And it's out there for everyone, and I felt bad like in high school when girls' news were going around, and it's like, dude, once that got a hold of a certain person, it's gone forever,
gone,
Question for you, right? You probably took a lot of showers in locker rooms and whatnot. You in the flip-flops in the shower guy?
I went through phases actually. Like in our old facility, 100%. Like I wouldn't even touch the ground without a towel or flip flops. But then like our new facility was like so nice that
You going barefoot?
I was going barefoot.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was like cleaned we were the first one in it, like the new state, like the new locker room and everything like that. But that's tough though, for sure. That's tough for sure.
It was a question we asked in our last episode because I just joined this Lifetime, right? And they have this beautiful spa and stuff.
The one in Gardens right here?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
man,
fire. It's
dude.
expensive. It's a whole fucking house mortgage a
Right.
month. But in the locker room, right? So I work out every morning. I shower before I go to work. And I said, Pete, like it's just interesting like, how guys approach locker rooms.
Yeah.
Some guys walk around full nude. They don't give a fuck.
Right, yeah.
What's like your locker room routine, right? You just took a shower, right? What's the process like?
I try to shower as soon as possible because it gets rowdy in there, man. Like it's crazy to say, but like it gets rowdy. But I like all my stuff like clean and then in my certain spot. But we had like 40 showers,
Oh, no
Yeah,
shit.
so we had like so many, and it was brand new, and like it's like my teammates that I like grind with. So like Lifetime when it's like random guys, like you don't know what they're doing, like shaving in there and all that. It's like that's different.
You
for
don't know
sure.
what Nick's doing in that shower, bro. You don't want to know what Nick's doing in that shower, bro.
Exactly. So
You just walk by. They changed the glass doors to curtains too.
They were glass doors.
wow.
Dude, you were solid in there, dude. That's what I'm telling you. I was definitely stepping.
Wow.
We can cut that too. Dante, bro, thank you so much for coming on,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Any other? You got anything else?
What's a day in the life of Dante like now?
Yeah.
Like, are you still waking up early and in the gym every day, or have you
Yeah,
kind of
so-
toned it back?
Yeah, it was tough to like continue to do that, but like when I am doing it, I love it. So I'm waking up, fairly early and, going to the gym, doing some work on the computer, thankfully now that I don't have to be in person. And I started the OWL Collective as well at FAU, so the NIL deal. I run that now with one of the boosters. So I'm kind of just trying to link businesses and with the athletes and things like that. And just right now my mom kind of gave me a pass to do kind of something I'm really happy with.
Yeah.
And I got a show coming up. I can't say too much about it yet.
Excuse me, a show?
Yeah, I got a show coming up. I'm going to be part of a show that I'm excited about.
What type of show?
It'll be a pretty big show.
A show on the television?
Something like that, yeah.
A show that I could watch from home? On the television?
Yeah. It could be your new Bachelor kind of
Yeah,
deal.
it
Love Island USA?
No, I'll try to get on that. That'd be fun.
Shout out Love
That'd be
Island
fun.
USA.
Come on now.
But wow, okay.
This
what
opportunity.
channel?
Maybe
Can't say.
HGTV, maybe something like that.
hey.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, I was not gonna guess HGTV.
Maybe though, maybe.
Yeah.
Something
Could be
like
TLC,
Something. I honestly don't even know. But
Oh,
something of
okay.
that caliber to an extent. But that
OnlyFans?
that opportunity came up, a couple weeks ago, and
Okay.
I've had some downtime and before the next facility starts running, and I'm like, why not? Let's do it, man.
cool.
So
That's awesome.
I'll keep you in the loop. Maybe after that I can come back on and
That's right.
catch
Hell
up
yeah.
again. So
That's awesome, bro.
What's the best advice that you've ever gotten from a coach, or like any words of wisdom that have stuck with you still?
be where your feet are, man. Like you can't look too far ahead because you'll lose focus of where you're going. And if you're trying to do too much, you're not. You need to take every day and like put it all in that day. You know what I mean? Because and just stack your days, man. Like brick by brick. Gerald Hearn, shout out. Like brick, like stack your days.
Yeah.
You
Nice,
know.
I love that.
And I think a lot of the anxiety, I don't know why it's so present in our society today, but like thinking of the future, thinking of the future. And one similar thing I see across everything you're saying, Dante, is just being present.
Yeah,
you know?
man, you have
to. The future, 99% of the time, in my opinion, when you think about it, it's going to be scary because there's unknowns. You don't know how things are going to turn out. And so the anxiety most of the time is not going to be good. You know, it's not going to be good things going through your mind. It's going to be negative and what could happen and what shitty's going to come up. So be present, focus on today, win today, and then tomorrow, fucking deal with that when it comes around.
For sure. And it's tough because, like, with social media and everything, you're comparing yourself to others and where they're at in their life, at what age, you know, and, like, people are getting married, people having kids, people buying homes. It's like, what am I doing? You know, people are like, what am I, you know, you can't do that. You can't. It's tough. It's easier said than done, no doubt.
Right.
But it's just things I've learned. And, like, football, man, I can't say enough good about it. Yeah. Just all those life lessons, and they really do stick with you, man. And the people you meet and everything they say, just you realize is so damn true. And if you can stick to everything, like we had Inky Johnson come in and speak to us, a bunch of big name guys, like, those people been through it. Like, take what they say and listen, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It just shows how humble you are, Dante, and how you really have no ego, how you take everything like a sponge and you take it in, and then you put it towards your life. That's why you're successful. And I have no doubt you're going to continue to be successful.
Appreciate that.
Shout out your businesses real quick.
We got the Caring Cottages, the assisted living.
The Caring Cottages?
Yes, sir.
I fuck with that name.
Yeah, my mom liked it, so I said, okay. And then Envious Management is the like marketing and connecting and all that. And then the other business, so I've made like a business firm, Joseph C. Group, that is like brand new, LLC and everything like that, kind of like a holding company for it all. So I have a website, josephcgroup.com. You can go on there and see all the services and businesses that my mom and stepdad and I have, you know, created, and just keep building on that, man. And
I checked it out today. It looked great.
Yeah,
thank you, man. I did it myself. It took a while.
Looks good.
Thank you, man.
You're impressive, Dante.
I appreciate it, man.
Pete, you got anything?
No, that's all I got.
Guys, reach out to Dante, and if you're one of the people like me who haven't seen him in several years, he's the exact same. You'll love him just as much. You're an amazing person, Dante, and just continue doing good things, man. I have faith in you. Guys, thank you for watching, listening, viewing, and subscribing. This is Dante Cousart. We will see you all next week. Peace.
But I've been outside getting money, I'm on my thug again. Tryna stack a little dub, tryna catch a win. And next time I drop a coupe, it's gonna be a twin turbo. Always been a G, but I ain't never been a herb though. Way I'm switching.